Hi. In this video, I'm recapping part 2 season 5 of My Hero Academia. Links to other seasons are in the description. In 14th episode, the time was shown when Hawks was going to join League of Villains. Dobby told him to do something big for them to join them. He asked the Public Safety Commission president about what to do and later went to meet the number 3 hero, Best Jeanist. He later left with a bag in his hand. At present time, Bakugo, Shoto, and Midoriya started working under Endeavor. They found a glass quirk user villain, Enlightened Fallen King, and defeated him and his men easily. Hawks was in that area too, so he also helped. He then gave Endeavor a popular book named Meta Liberation War and told him to read the lines he highlighted, especially the second part. He said that in code words as he was being watched by League of Villains, as he has now joined them. The next episode, some days earlier were shown when Hawks went to a new League of Villains base and went in the room where 5 League of Villains members and 3 other people were sitting. One of them praised Hawks for making the Meta Liberation War book popular. Hawks then left and overheard them saying that Tamura will destroy everything in 4 months. Endeavor read the book and noticed the highlighted code words from each lines, who were forming a new line when combined. It was written that the enemy is Liberation Army and they number over 100,000. In 4 months, they'll rise into action, but before that, Hawks will give Endeavor a signal. Endeavor remembered that the Public Safety Commission president told him to train his work-study students as much as he can, so he suspected that they already know about this attack. Endeavor then trained his work-study students and gave them tips to improve too. Next episode was a filler, where Ryukyu's organization and Selkie's team captured some illegal injection user doing illegal transportation of something illegal by illegally crossing the borders and stuff. The next episode, the sister of Shoto, Fuyumi, invited her brothers and father for a dinner. Bakugo and Midoriya were also called just because. Shoto's brother, Natsu, left after eating a bit as he don't want to stay with Endeavor because of their past. After the dinner, Endeavor saw the picture of his dead son, Toya, and wished that he was with them. The next episode, a villain, Ending, who got captured by Endeavor 7 years ago, got released and went straight to his house to take his revenge. He saw Natsu leaving the house there. Fuyumi revealed that Natsu hates Endeavor, as when their mother got hospitalized, their brother, Toya, died. Natsu blames Endeavor for all this and hates him for that. Later, Endeavor was driving UA students back to the UA, suddenly, Ending appeared with Natsu as hostage and started attacking Endeavor. His quirk lets him control the white thing on the roads like ropes. He tossed some cars up with his quirk, but Midoriya used the whip-type quirk and saved the people inside. Bakugo saved Natsu from getting hit by a train, while Shoto froze Ending. Later, Endeavor told Fuyumi and Natsu that he'll buy a new house for all of them, while he'll stay in that house, as they all will stay happy without him. The next episode, the 3rd term of UA Class 1 has started. Then it was revealed that Aizawa and Present Mike had a childhood friend, Oboro, and they had decided to start their own organization together, but during their work studies, he died after getting crushed under a falling building. Now, Aizawa and Present Mike got called by Gran Torino and Tsukauchi that they tried to ask Kurogiri about League of Villains stuff, but when they asked any important part, he just stopped talking and completely shuts off. It's almost like he's a Nomu. That's why they investigated his quirk and came to know that his warp quirk is made by combining different other quirks, and the main base quirk is of their dead friend, Oboro. Gran Torino and Tsukauchi wants Aizawa and Present Mike to talk to him and try to get him out of that state with words. Then they started talking to him about old days and slowly went more and more emotional. Oboro was trying to get out of Kurogiri too, but suddenly Kurogiri calmed down and started saying that it's his duty to protect Tamura and don't know anything they're saying. Oboro's last words were hospital and I am. Gran Torino told Public Safety Commission president about it and she told it to Hawks. Hawks figured out what is League of Villains plotting. The next episode, Tamura remembered that Kurogiri got his permission to include Gigantomachia in their league. It happened before Heroes raid and overhauls organization. Kurogiri went to convince Gigantomachia to join them, but got captured by Gran Torino. League of Villains then went to meet Gigantomachia to convince him to join them. Gigantomachia was upset that All for One chose Tamura as his successor, and not him, even though he was very loyal to him. Suddenly, All for One's doctor, Yujiko, warped League of Villains to his secret base, where he was creating high ends, the ultimate form of Nomos. His special Nomu, Johnny, has the ability to warp people. It was revealed that Tamura don't remember his life before meeting All for One. As All for One chose Tamura as his successor, Yujiko wants him to prove it first that he actually deserves to be the new leader by convincing Gigantomachia to join them. He then sent Dobby to test one of his high ends and sent others to Gigantomachia. Gigantomachia continuously fought League of Villains, especially Tamura. He sleep for only 3 hours and stay awake for 48 hours and 44 minutes. His height increases even more while fighting. 1.5 months passed. Gigantomachia was sleeping. Suddenly, Twice got a call from their team member, Jiren. Jiren manages all of their hiring stuff. He was the one who brought new League of Villain members, like Dabi and Toga, to the league. It was actually the supreme leader of the Meta Liberation Army, Destro, who called them with Jiren's phone. He is the one who sells the popular book, Meta Liberation War. Meta in his brand's name means quirk. Quirk was called Meta when it was discovered in its early days. His army has a dream of rebuilding the world where people can be people and can use their quirks at 100%. Destro was the man who struggled to give people freedom to use their quirk at 100% whenever they want except of any restrictions, so Destro used his name as he's the new leader. Then he revealed that they tortured Jiren to get sensitive information regarding League of Villains out of him and cut his fingers and threw it away at random places too, but he didn't even scream. He further said that they were working behind the scenes for such a long time and currently they have 116,516 members in their army. Destro has already traced their location so he can inform heroes about it and they'll be captured in no time. That's why he gave them an option to come to Deka City and either join them or have a war with them. As Gigantomachia can trace Tamura's location, he decided to go to Deka City and release Gigantomachia on them. Now, League of Villains will have a war with Meta Liberation Army. In next episode, it was revealed that when quirks were first found, government made some strict rules about not freely using them. Even in present era, people need provisional license to use their quirks as heroes. That's why Destro, who was a quirk user, created an army of people who wanted to use their quirks as they wanted, and they rebelled against the government, but were defeated. Destro wrote Meta Liberation War book when he was imprisoned, and later suicide. Now, League of Villains went to Deka City. Gigantomachia will wake up in 1 hour and 40 minutes and will start coming there. A pro hero, Sliding Go, appeared, who was also secretly a member of the Liberation Army. He guided them to the city and took them to Hinabata, who is a popular politician and has joined the army too. It was revealed that 90% people in that town are the members of the Liberation Army. Suddenly, a lot of Liberation Army members appeared and started attacking League of Villains. It was revealed that Jiren is at the top of the highest building of that city. A member of the Liberation Army, Curious, fought Toga with her landmine quirk. Toga's past was shown. She had obsession with cute stuff and blood, so she once killed her classmate and sucked her blood with a straw. Then she ran away from the police and later joined League of Villains. Now, she turned into Uraraka as she sucked her blood in All for One saga and started using her floating quirk too. Her quirk had evolved in that fight. She floated a lot of people around her and threw them back to the ground that killed them, including Curious. She lost a lot of blood, so she hid in a storeroom outside a house. Tamura hadn't slept completely for a long time because of continuously fighting Gigantomachia, so he was like a drunk guy. He used his quirk on one man, but it spread even to those whom he hadn't touched. His quirk was also evolving. Dabi fought an ice manipulator quirk user, Gaten. Twice found Toga, but got attacked by puppets made by another Liberation Army member, Skeptic. He can make puppets out of non-living things that are of human size. Liberation Army knew about Twice's past, so they made his puppets fight him to mentally defeat him first. The next episode, Twice remembered that his parents died when he was in middle school, and since then he's staying alone. He once broke an important man's arm in an accident, so he wasn't getting any more jobs because of his criminal record. He then started stealing using his quirk and later, his puppets fought each others and he couldn't trust himself either. Later, he joined League of Villains, as Jiren told him that he needs someone whom he can completely trust. Now, Skeptic's puppets were trying to kill unconscious Toga, so when Twice tried to save her, Skeptic's puppet stopped him and broke his arm. Twice was glad that he's not a puppet himself, as his puppets disappear when they take a damage that is equal to breaking a bone. When his puppets fought each other in past, they all said that they're the real ones and others are fake. That's why Twice didn't took part in a serious fight, as he thought that he's a puppet too and he will get erased if he takes a bone-breaking damage. It was revealed that if he'll make 2 puppets of himself, the third one will feel more pain than second one, and second one will feel more pain than his real body. Now, Twice created a huge amount of puppets and called it Sadman's Parade. He sent them all over the city to fight the Liberation Army. Gaten revealed that he can control the temperature of ice too, and as water is the liquid form of ice, he can turn it into ice and can manipulate that ice too. Ijiko woke Gigantomachia up almost an hour earlier and told him that Tamura hasn't slept enough and is still doing more work than him. That angered him and he started going towards Tamura. Tamura and Spinner were going towards the tower to save Jiren. Twice's puppets appeared to help them. Tamura sent some puppets to the tower, where he managed to get to the top floor and made more puppets of himself and other League of Villains members. Suddenly, Redestro used his quirk and defeated all of them at once. Only Tamura's puppet and some puppets of Twice left. Tamura's puppet fought Redestro. Redestro revealed that Destro was born with a quirk, so people hated them and threw rocks at him for that, but his mother said that it's his quirk and there's nothing wrong with it. Since then, Destro made his liberation army that was in favor of quirk users and their rights. Suddenly, real Tamura touched the building and decayed it, that caused it to fall down. Redestro stood up and got ready to fight Tamura. The next episode, Hinabata used his quirk on his people, by which he can raise their strength when he talks to them. Spinner and Twice's puppets fought them. Redestro can store his stress inside himself and can turn it into strength. The more stress he stores, the stronger he becomes. He was beating Tamura, but when Tamura saw a hand he wears on the ground, he started getting his memories back and he decayed Redestro's finger by touching it with his one finger only, even though he needs to touch something with all 5 fingers to decay it. Tamura then fought Redestro and had improved than before, so Redestro used his 80% quirk. Suddenly, Gigantamachi appeared and was beating everyone coming in his way. Now, Tamura got his memories back. His father, Kotaro, was abandoned by his mother, the one-for-all quirk user, Nana, when her husband was murdered because of her being a hero. Kotaro had made a rule that no one will talk about heroes in his house, or they'll get punished. Tamura was 5 at that time and hadn't received a quirk yet. Kotaro was living with his family and the parents of his wife. Tamura wanted to become a hero. One day, his sister, Hana, showed him the picture of Kotaro and Nana together and told him that Nana is their grandmother. She then told Tamura that both of them will become heroes together when they'll grow up. Kotaro later found out that his kid saw that picture and Hana lied that it was Tamura who wanted to see them. Kotaro hit Tamura and made him stay in the house long. Suddenly, Tamura received his quirk and killed his dog, Mon, accidentally. Hana came to apologize but started leaving after seeing Mon. Tamura tried to tell her that there's a villain somewhere who killed her, but then he killed Hana too when he touched her. He kept thinking that there's a villain around who's doing that. His grandparents and mother came outside, but because his quirk was overflowing, he killed all of them too. Oboro came there too and tried to hit him to make him unconscious, but that angered him and he intentionally killed him and destroyed the whole house at the same time. The next episode, Tamura left his house and was wandering around until All for One took him. He showed him the hands of his family members that were the only remains they found. Tamura later got attacked by some thugs, so All for One told him to just kill them to get rid of his frustration. Tamura also decayed one hand of his father and later wore them all and killed the thugs. All for One then gave him those thugs' hands and one more hand that replaced one decayed hand of his father. Those thugs' hands represents that he has now started a new life. Together, he wears 14 hands on his body. All for One then changed his name from Tenko Shimura to Tamura Shigaraki. Tamura means to mourn, while Shigaraki is the last name of All for One's real name. Now, Tamura destroyed the hand he was wearing, saying that he don't need these anymore. Redestro remembered the duty and overwork he has done for Liberation Army and all the stress he gathered because of it, so he used it to gather his materials to make his fight suit and used his quirk at 150%. Tamura decayed that suit and used his quirk on the ground to decay everything that was touching it. Redestro cut some of his legs when he started getting decayed. Tamura's evolved quirk made his hair bright as his quirk was affecting his whole body. Liberation Army members gathered there and tried to fight Tamura for doing that to Redestro on Hinabata's order, but stopped because of Tamura's stare. Redestro got impressed by Tamura for forgetting the history of human beings and just for wishing to destroy the future. He saw Tamura as a free person who can do whatever he wants. He joined Tamura as he'll also help him destroy the future of the world. It'll also fulfill Destro's wish as he was against the government for stopping people to be free. The Gigantamachi saw him doing that and acknowledged him as All for One's successor. 1 week later, League of Villains were staying in Liberation Army base somewhere else. Skeptic edited the footage of Deka City and released it on the internet that encouraged people to freely use their quirks at 100%. Redestro called every member of the Liberation Army at one place. Tamura now wears just one hand on his face. Redestro told his people that from now on, they're going to join forces with League of Villains and their team will have a new name, the Paranormal Liberation Front. The Grand Commander is Tamura, while Redestro, Skeptic, Hinabata, Gaten, Dabi, Toga, Compress, Spinner, and Twice are his lieutenants. Tamura allowed his people to do whatever they want as they all are free. The name of their team is just a name. Ijiko also decided to help Tamura as he proved that he can take All for One's place. The next episode, Hawks was in that place too and remembered that he showed Dabi the dead body of number 3 hero, Best Genist, to join them. Tamura told Yujiko to treat him in a way that even if he uses his quirk at 100%, he won't get injuries because of that. Yujiko revealed that he was the one who created quirk singularity doomsday theory, the theory that states that the world will end because of stronger and stronger quirks coming into existence because of the combination of parents' quirks. Then he told Tamura that it'll take 4 months to make him perfect. He'll become too strong that he'll be able to control all for one quirk as well as one for all. He revealed that one for all was the only power that didn't went the way all for one wanted it. Then he told him about one for all quirk. All Might gave Midoriya some notes he made that had the details about previous one for all quirk users except second and third ones. Then he told Midoriya that he'll now master the quirk of his master, Nana, that lets her float. Yujiko was keeping Tamura in a hospital and had told others that he's doing some private research. In the final scene, Endeavor had informed everyone about the message Hawks gave him that the enemy is Liberation Army, so a lot of heroes were gathered at one place where they subscribed to the channel and got ready for the war with Paranormal Liberation Front. Thanks for sticking till the end. If you like this video, then like, subscribe, and do all these stuff and check out my other videos too.